and welcome back to the English for Real Life podcast. We're so glad you're here with us today. I'm Erica.
And I'm Marco. Here at English for Real Life, our goal is to help you speak English naturally, clearly, and with confidence. The kind of English real people use in everyday situations.
And today's topic is extremely important, maybe one of the most important we've ever covered.
Yes, today we're going to teach you how to talk to a doctor when you are sick in English. This is something that affects everyone. At some point, you will need to see a doctor. And if that doctor speaks English, or if you're living in or traveling to an English-speaking country, you need to know how to explain how you feel.
This isn't just about language, it's about your health. If you can't describe your symptoms clearly, the doctor can't help you properly.
Exactly. We'll teach you how to make an appointment, how to describe your symptoms, how to answer the doctor's questions, how to understand what the doctor says, and how to talk about medication and treatment. Everything from the moment you call the clinic to the moment you leave with your prescription.
So, if this sounds useful, and I know it does, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to English for Real Life. We post new lessons regularly, and we don't want you to miss any.
Ready to feel more confident at the doctor's office? Let's get started.
Marco, how are you today? And I really mean it. How are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling great, thanks. I had a really good morning, I went for a walk, made a healthy breakfast, and I feel full of energy.
That's wonderful. You see, I asked how are you feeling because today's topic is about health. It felt right.
Very appropriate. What about you, Erica? How are you feeling?
Funny you ask. I was a little under the weather earlier this week.
Oh no, what happened?
I woke up on Tuesday with a really sore throat and a headache. I thought, oh great, here we go. But luckily it passed after a couple of days. I drank lots of water, rested, and by Thursday I was fine.
That's good to hear. Did you see a doctor?
I didn't this time because it was mild and went away on its own, but it reminded me how important it is to know what to say at the doctor's. Because last year when I was really sick, I had to go, and honestly, I wasn't sure how to explain everything I was feeling.
That's such a common experience. You know what you feel, but finding the right words, especially in a second language, is really hard.
Exactly. You're standing in the doctor's office, the doctor asks you a question, and your mind just goes blank, which is exactly why we need today's lesson.
Speaking of which, let's talk about it step by step, the way it actually happens. When you're sick and need to see a doctor, what's the very first thing you do?
You make an appointment. You call the clinic or hospital and book a time to see the doctor.
Exactly. And that first phone call is something a lot of people find stressful, especially in the second language. So let's practice it.
When you call a doctor's office, the receptionist will usually ask a few questions, like, what's the reason for your visit? Or, what seems to be the problem?
Right. A simple, clear answer is all you need. You can say, I've been feeling unwell for a few days, and I'd like to see a doctor. Or, I have a bad cough and a fever, and I need an appointment. Simple and direct. You don't need to explain everything on the phone. Just give the main reason.
Exactly. And you might also hear, is this urgent? That means, is it an emergency? Do you need to come in today?
Urgent means very important and needing immediate attention. If something is urgent, it cannot wait. If it's not urgent, you can wait for a regular appointment.
So you might say, it's not urgent, but I've been feeling sick for 3 days and I'd like to come in soon. Perfect. Or if it is urgent, I have severe chest pain. I need to see someone today.
Severe means very serious or very bad. Severe pain means the pain is very strong. A severe headache is much worse than a mild headache. Mild is the opposite of severe, not very serious. The pain is mild means it's not too bad.
Good to know. So you make the appointment, then what?
Then you arrive at the clinic. The receptionist will ask you to check in. They might ask for your name, your date of birth, and your insurance information if you're in a country with private health care, or your health card if there's public health care.
Right. Then you wait, because there's almost always some waiting. The waiting room, the most fun part.
Yes, and then the doctor or nurse calls you in. Often, before you see the doctor, a nurse will take your vitals.
Vitals? What does that mean?
Vitals is short for vital signs. These are basic measurements of your health, your temperature, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and sometimes your weight. The nurse measures these before the doctor sees you.
So they check your temperature to see if you have a fever.
Exactly. You have a temperature of 38.5 degrees Celsius. You have a slight fever. A normal temperature is around 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
And blood pressure? What's that?
Blood pressure measures the force of blood pushing against your artery walls. High blood pressure can be a health concern. The nurse might say, your blood pressure is slightly elevated. That means it's a little high. Elevated means raised or higher than normal.
In a medical context, elevated often means higher than the normal range. Your temperature is elevated means you have a fever.
Okay, so after the vitals, the doctor comes in. What happens next?
The doctor will usually start by asking, "What brings you in today?" Or, "How can I help you?" Or, "What seems to be the problem?"
And this is the moment where you need to describe your symptoms clearly.
Yes, and symptom is one of the most important words in this topic. A symptom is a sign of illness, something you feel or notice that suggests you might be sick. A headache is a symptom. A runny nose is a symptom. A sore throat is a symptom.
So the doctor asks about your symptoms to understand what's wrong, and the clearest way to describe your symptoms is to be specific about 3 things: what the symptom is, how long you've had it, and how bad it is.
Like, "I've had a sore throat for 3 days, and it's quite painful." Perfect. Or, "I've had a headache since yesterday morning. It's moderate, not the worst I've ever had, but it doesn't go away."
Moderate means in the middle, not mild, not severe. Mild, moderate, severe, those 3 words describe the intensity of a symptom on a scale from light to very serious.
Doctors often ask you to rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10, don't they?
Yes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? 1 means almost no pain. 10 means the worst pain you can imagine.
I always find that question difficult. What's a 7? What's a 4?
It's subjective, but it gives the doctor useful information. Generally, 1 through 3 is mild, 4 through 6 is moderate, and 7 through 10 is severe. That's helpful to know.
What are some other common symptoms we should know how to describe?
Let's go through the most common ones. Fever. I have a fever, or I have a high temperature. Cough. I have a cough, or I've been coughing a lot. You can also say a dry cough, a cough without mucus, or a chesty cough, one that produces mucus.
What's mucus?
Mucus is the thick liquid produced in your nose, throat, or chest when you're sick. In everyday English, people often call it phlegm when it's in the throat or chest.
Not the most pleasant topic, but very important at the doctor's.
Very important. Continuing, I have a runny nose, mucus coming from the nose. I have a blocked nose, or my nose is congested. The nose is blocked and you can't breathe through it easily. Congested means blocked or stuffed up.
Yes, nasal congestion is a very common medical term for a blocked nose. You might also say, "I'm all stuffed up." That's more casual. "I'm all stuffed up and I can't breathe properly."
Exactly. Other symptoms. I have a sore throat. Your throat hurts and feels irritated. I feel nauseous. You feel like you might vomit. I've been vomiting. You have been sick.
Nauseous, does that mean feeling sick in your stomach?
Yes. Nauseous or nauseated means you feel like you want to vomit, but you haven't yet. I feel nauseous after eating, or the car ride made me feel nauseous.
And what about dizzy? I've felt dizzy before when I was sick.
Dizzy means feeling like you or your surroundings are spinning, like you might lose your balance. I've been feeling dizzy when I stand up.
Or lightheaded, is that the same?
Similar, lightheaded means feeling faint or a little unsteady, like your head feels empty or floaty. It's slightly different from dizzy. Dizzy suggests spinning, lightheaded suggests faintness. I felt lightheaded this morning when I got out of bed. Perfect use.
What about tiredness? How do you express extreme fatigue to a doctor?
You could say, I'm very tired, but that sounds a little basic. In a medical context, you might say, I've been feeling fatigued. Fatigue means extreme tiredness that doesn't go away with rest. It's a medical term for serious, persistent tiredness. I've been experiencing fatigue for the past 2 weeks. I feel exhausted all the time.
Exhausted is even stronger than tired. It means completely drained of energy.
Exactly.
What about aches and pains? How do you describe those?
Great question. Ache is a continuous dull pain. I have a stomach ache, continuous pain in the stomach. I have a backache, ongoing pain in the back. My whole body aches, common with the flu.
Erica, and pain is more general.
Yes, pain is the general word. I have pain in my chest. You feel something hurting in your chest. You can also say sharp pain, a sudden intense pain like a stabbing feeling, or dull pain, a continuous, less intense discomfort. I have a sharp pain on my right side when I breathe deeply. That's an excellent description, very clear and specific. A doctor would understand exactly what you mean.
What about when the pain comes and goes? How do you say that?
The pain comes and goes is perfectly natural. Or intermittent pain, pain that appears and disappears. I have intermittent pain in my knee. It hurts for a few minutes, then it stops. Intermittent means not constant, appearing at irregular intervals.
Now, the doctor will also ask you follow-up questions to understand your condition better. Let's talk about how to answer those.
Very common ones are, when did this start? And you answer, it started about 3 days ago. Or, I've had this since Monday.
Have you had this before? Meaning, is this the first time? And you answer, yes, I had something similar last winter. Or, no, this is the first time.
Are you taking any medication? This is important. The doctor needs to know what you're already taking. Yes, I'm currently taking ibuprofen for the pain. Or, I'm not taking anything at the moment.
What about allergies? The doctor asks about those too.
Definitely. Do you have any allergies? And you might answer, I'm allergic to penicillin. That means the antibiotic penicillin causes a bad reaction in your body. Or, I have no known allergies. Known allergies means allergies you are already aware of.
It's possible to have an allergy you don't know about yet, which is why the doctor asks.
What if the doctor asks something you don't understand?
Great point. It's completely okay to ask the doctor to repeat or explain something. You can say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Or, could you explain what that means? Or, I'm not familiar with that term. Could you say it in a simpler way?
Doctors use a lot of medical terms that normal people don't know. A good doctor will explain. Don't be shy about asking. It's your health. You have every right to understand what the doctor is telling you.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite follow that. Could you explain it again, please? Perfect. Polite and clear.
Now, after you describe your symptoms and answer questions, the doctor might examine you. They might say, I'm going to examine you now. Or, can you open your mouth and say, ah?
That's for checking your throat. They use a small light to look at your throat and tonsils. They might also use a stethoscope, the device they put on your chest to listen to your breathing and heart.
Can you take a deep breath for me? I hear that a lot.
Yes. Take a deep breath means breathe in deeply and hold it briefly. They're listening to your lungs. And sometimes they press on your stomach and ask if it hurts.
Does it hurt when I press here? And you answer clearly, yes, that's quite tender. Tender means sensitive to touch, hurts when pressed. Or no, that doesn't hurt.
Tender. So not just pain, but pain when you touch it. In a medical context, tender means sore or painful when touched or pressed. My throat feels tender when I swallow.
After the examination, what does the doctor do?
The doctor gives you a diagnosis. That means they tell you what they think is wrong. I think you have a viral infection, or you seem to have bronchitis, or this looks like a sinus infection.
Diagnosis. That's the doctor's conclusion about what's wrong. Diagnose is the verb. The doctor diagnosed me with the flu. Diagnosis is the noun, the result of that process.
And sometimes the doctor isn't sure and needs to do tests. I'd like to run some tests to be sure. Tests might include a blood test. I'll need to take a blood sample, or a urine test. Could you provide a urine sample? Or sometimes an X-ray or scan.
A blood sample, that means they take a small amount of your blood to test it in the lab. The nurse or doctor uses a needle to take a small amount of blood from your arm.
I'm not a fan of needles.
Many people aren't. You can tell the nurse, "I'm a bit nervous about needles." They'll be gentle.
That's good to know. What about after the diagnosis? How do doctors explain treatment?
After the diagnosis, the doctor will explain the treatment. They might say, "I'm going to prescribe you some antibiotics." Prescribe means to officially recommend or order a medicine for a patient. A prescription is the piece of paper the doctor gives you that you take to the pharmacy.
Exactly. The doctor writes a prescription and you take it to a pharmacy, sometimes called a chemist in British English, to get your medicine.
What kinds of medicines might the doctor prescribe? Common ones include antibiotics, medicines that fight bacterial infections. Antibiotics only work for bacteria, not viruses. So the doctor might say, "This is viral, so antibiotics won't help. You just need rest and fluids."
Fluids means water and liquids. Drink plenty of fluids is very common medical advice. It means drink a lot of water, clear soup, juice, any liquids to keep your body hydrated.
What other medicines might you be prescribed? Anti-inflammatory medicine. This reduces swelling and inflammation. Ibuprofen is a common anti-inflammatory. Antihistamines for allergies. Painkillers. Medicines that reduce pain, like paracetamol or acetaminophen.
Dosage means the amount and frequency of medicine you should take. The doctor or the medicine label will say something like, take 1 tablet 3 times a day after meals, or take 2 capsules every 8 hours, or apply the cream twice a day to the affected area.
Affected area means the part of the body that is sick or has a problem. If you have a rash on your arm, the affected area is your arm. Apply the cream to the affected area twice daily.
What if you're not sure how to take the medicine? Ask the pharmacist or doctor. You can say, "Can you explain how to take this?" Or, "Should I take this with food?" Or, "Is it safe to take this with other medicine I'm already taking?"
That last one is really important. Some medicines don't mix well together. Drug interactions means when 2 medicines affect each other in a negative way. Always tell your doctor or pharmacist what other medicines you're taking.
Now, at the end of the appointment, what do you say? How do you wrap up the conversation?
You might want to confirm what you understood. So, just to confirm, I should take 1 tablet 3 times a day for 7 days and rest as much as possible. Repeating the instructions back shows you understood and gives the doctor a chance to correct anything.
Exactly. And you should also ask about follow-up. When should I come back if I don't feel better? Or should I make a follow-up appointment?
Follow-up means a future appointment to check your progress. Yes, I'd like you to come back in 2 weeks for a follow-up. Or, if you're not feeling better in 3 days, please call us.
And you might want to ask, are there any side effects I should watch out for?
Great question to ask. Side effects are unwanted or unexpected effects that a medicine might cause. This medicine may cause drowsiness. It might make you feel sleepy. It may cause nausea in some people. The doctor or pharmacist will tell you what to expect.
So at the end of the appointment, you say thank you, confirm your instructions, ask about follow-up, and leave with your prescription, and hopefully feeling a little better just from knowing you have a plan.
That's true. Sometimes just seeing the doctor makes you feel better psychologically.
Absolutely. Knowing you've taken action and received guidance is reassuring.
All right, I think we've covered the full journey, from making the appointment to leaving the clinic. Let's review the vocabulary now.
You know, Marco, while we were talking, we used so many important medical and health-related words.
Let's go through them carefully now, because knowing these words could genuinely be important in a real-life situation.
Yes, please. Some of these came up naturally in the conversation, but I want to make sure I really understand them.
First word, symptom. This is a noun. It means a physical sign or feeling that suggests you might be sick or have a health problem. So things like a headache, a cough, or a fever are all symptoms.
Exactly. I described my symptoms to the doctor. Or, common symptoms of a cold include a runny nose, sore throat, and cough. And you can say symptoms appeared when they started. My symptoms appeared 3 days ago. Perfect.
Always describe your symptoms clearly, what they are, when they started, and how severe they are. What's a symptom you commonly get when you're sick, Marco?
Almost always a sore throat. That's usually the first sign for me.
For me, it's a headache. Next word, diagnosis. This is a noun. It means the conclusion a doctor reaches about what illness or condition you have after examining you and your symptoms. The doctor's diagnosis was that I had a sinus infection, right?
The verb is diagnose. The doctor diagnosed me with strep throat. And misdiagnosis is when the doctor makes the wrong conclusion. I was misdiagnosed at first. The doctor thought it was a cold, but it was actually the flu.
That happens. It's why being specific and clear about your symptoms matters so much. What's something a doctor diagnosed you with in the past?
Last winter, the doctor diagnosed me with bronchitis. I had a terrible cough for weeks.
I remember you mentioning that. Next word, prescribe and prescription. Prescribe is a verb. It means for a doctor to officially recommend or order a specific medicine for a patient. Prescription is the noun, the written order the doctor gives you for medication. The doctor prescribed me antibiotics, and I took the prescription to the pharmacy.
Prescription medicine means medicine that requires a doctor's written order. The opposite is over-the-counter medicine, medicine you can buy freely without a doctor's approval. This cold medicine is available over the counter. I didn't need a prescription. Perfect.
Do you have any regular prescriptions, Marco?
Not regular ones, only when I'm sick. What about you?
I have a seasonal allergy prescription, antihistamines every spring. Next word, severe. This is an adjective. It means very serious, very intense, or extreme. I have severe chest pain. Very serious, possibly an emergency.
Yes, a severe headache, a severe allergic reaction, severe fatigue, all mean the condition is very serious. The opposite, as we discussed, is mild. The pain is mild. I can manage it without medicine. And moderate is in the middle. Not mild, not severe, somewhere between. The pain is moderate. It's uncomfortable, but not unbearable.
Exactly. These 3 words, mild, moderate, severe, are incredibly useful at the doctor's office.
Next word, nauseous. This is an adjective. It means feeling like you might vomit, an uncomfortable, sick feeling in your stomach. I feel nauseous after the medication, or the smell made me nauseous.
Nausea is the noun. I've been experiencing nausea since this morning. The related verb is to vomit, the act of being sick. In casual speech, people say throw up instead. I vomited twice last night is more formal. I throw up twice last night is more casual. Both are appropriate to tell a doctor. Don't be embarrassed. Doctors hear these things all day.
Good reminder. Have you ever felt nauseous from medicine?
Yes, once from a strong antibiotic. I had to take it with food after that to reduce the nausea. Next word, fatigue. This is a noun. It means extreme, persistent tiredness that rest doesn't fully relieve. It's more serious than just feeling tired. I've been experiencing fatigue for 2 weeks. Even after sleeping 8 hours, I feel exhausted.
Exactly. Fatigue can be a symptom of many conditions: anemia, thyroid problems, viral infections, and more. The adjective is fatigued. I feel completely fatigued. And chronic fatigue means fatigue that lasts a very long time, months or even years.
Chronic means lasting for a long time or recurring often. Chronic pain is pain that doesn't go away. Chronic illness is one that continues long-term. So acute is the opposite, something that comes on suddenly and is short-term.
Exactly right. Acute means sudden and short-term. Chronic means long-lasting. Doctors use these words a lot.
What's something you felt fatigued about during exam week at university?
Chronic stress and chronic fatigue,
Not fun. Very relatable. Next word, allergic and allergy. Allergy is a noun. It describes when your immune system reacts badly to a substance that is normally harmless. Allergic is the adjective. I'm allergic to peanuts, or I have a penicillin allergy.
Allergic reaction is what happens when you're exposed to something you're allergic to. Symptoms can include a rash, swelling, itching, or in severe cases, difficulty breathing. Anaphylaxis is the most severe allergic reaction. It can be life-threatening.
Yes, anaphylaxis is an extreme, life-threatening allergic reaction that needs immediate medical attention. If someone has a known severe allergy, they often carry an EpiPen, a device to inject adrenaline in an emergency. Always tell the doctor about your allergies, especially medicine allergies.
Always. Do you have any allergies, Marco?
Yes, I'm allergic to dust mites. My nose gets congested and my eyes itch terribly.
That's a very common allergy. Next word, tender. In a medical context, this adjective means sensitive to touch, painful when pressure is applied. Is it tender here? The doctor asks when pressing on your body. Yes, it's quite tender when you press there. Or, my throat feels tender when I swallow.
It's different from just painful. Tender suggests the area is inflamed or sensitive. Inflamed means swollen and irritated, often red and warm. The doctor said my tonsils looked inflamed and swollen.
Perfect. Next phrase, side effects. This is a noun phrase. Side effects are unwanted or unexpected effects that a medicine causes in addition to its intended effect. This medication may cause drowsiness as a side effect, so you feel sleepy even though the medicine was for a cough.
Exactly. Common side effects include nausea, drowsiness, headache, dizziness, and loss of appetite. The pharmacist will usually tell you about side effects when you pick up the medicine. Are there any side effects I should know about? Is a great question to ask. Always ask and read the information leaflet that comes with the medicine too.
Last word, contagious. This is an adjective. It means capable of being passed from one person to another, an illness that can spread. Is this illness contagious? Can I give it to other people?
Yes, the flu is highly contagious. You can spread it through coughing and sneezing, or you should stay home while you're contagious. How long am I contagious is a really useful question.
Very useful. The doctor might say, you're contagious for the first 3 days, or you can return to work once you've been fever-free for 24 hours. Fever-free means your temperature has returned to normal.
Exactly. Great observation. All right, let's summarize all the vocabulary. Symptom, a physical sign or feeling that suggests illness. Diagnosis, the doctor's conclusion about what illness you have. Prescribe/prescription, to officially order medicine / the written order for medicine. Severe, very serious or intense, opposite of mild. Nauseous/nausea, feeling like you might vomit, a sick feeling in your stomach. Fatigue, extreme, persistent tiredness that rest doesn't fully relieve. Allergic/allergy, a bad immune reaction to a normally harmless substance. Tender, sensitive and painful when touched or pressed. Side effects, unwanted or unexpected effects caused by medicine in addition to its intended purpose. Contagious, capable of spreading from one person to another.
10 essential medical words. I feel genuinely more prepared for a real doctor's visit now.
Okay, Erica, that was a lot of talking about how to talk to a doctor when you're sick, but every bit of it is genuinely useful. This might be the lesson I refer back to most in real life.
I hope so. That's exactly why we made it. Let's think about what we learned today and organize it clearly so you can remember everything.
Please, my head is full of medical words. Let's break it down step by step.
First, we learned how to make a doctor's appointment. When you call the clinic, you give the main reasons simply and clearly. Useful phrases. I've been feeling unwell for a few days. I have a bad cough and a fever. Is there an appointment available soon? Remember, you don't need to explain everything on the phone. Just give the key reason. And if it's urgent, you say so directly. I have severe chest pain. I need to see someone today.
Exactly. Then we talked about what happens when you arrive, checking in, waiting, and having your vitals taken. Your vitals are your temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate. You might hear, your temperature is elevated, or your blood pressure is slightly high.
After that comes describing your symptoms to the doctor, the most important section. We learn to describe symptoms by saying what it is, how long you've had it, and how bad it is. Key phrases. I've had a sore throat for 3 days. I have a sharp pain on my right side. The pain is moderate, about a 5 out of 10. The pain comes and goes. And remember, mild, moderate, and severe describe the intensity.
Then the doctor asks follow-up questions. We learn to answer clearly. It started about 3 days ago. I've had this before. I'm currently taking ibuprofen. I'm allergic to penicillin. And if you don't understand something the doctor says, ask them to explain. Could you repeat that? Or could you explain what that means in simpler terms?
Then comes the diagnosis and treatment. The doctor tells you what's wrong. You have a viral infection, or this looks like strep throat. Then they explain the treatment. I'm going to prescribe antibiotics, or you just need rest and plenty of fluids. And we learn to ask about dosage, how much medicine and how often. Take 1 tablet 3 times a day after meals. And always ask about side effects. Are there any side effects I should know about? And if it's over the counter, you don't need a prescription.
Finally, we wrapped up the appointment. Confirm your instructions. Repeat them back to make sure you understood correctly. Ask about follow-up. When should I come back if I don't feel better? And ask if the illness is contagious. Is this contagious? Should I stay home from work?
It really follows a clear path. Make appointment, check in, describe symptoms, answer questions, understand the diagnosis, understand the treatment, confirm and ask questions. Leave. Perfectly summarized.
And once you know the vocabulary and the structure, it becomes much less intimidating. You have the words, you have the confidence. You can do this.
Now we want to hear from you. This is genuinely our favorite part of every lesson, and always love reading your comments and getting to know your experiences.
Our question of the day is, what is the most difficult part of going to the doctor in English for you?
I'll answer first. For me, the hardest part would be describing pain accurately. Pain is so personal and subjective. Saying it hurts doesn't feel like enough. Finding the right words in a second language, sharp, dull, throbbing, aching, would be really challenging under pressure.
That's a really honest answer. For me, I think the most difficult part would be understanding the doctor's explanation. When they tell you the diagnosis or explain the treatment, they sometimes use medical terms. Following along quickly in a second language while you're already feeling sick and stressed sounds genuinely hard.
That's such a good point. You're not at your best when you're sick, and then you have to concentrate on understanding complex language?
Exactly. See, we have different answers, and both are completely valid. Everyone finds different parts challenging.
So, viewers, we want to know, what is the most difficult part of talking to a doctor in English for you? Please tell us in the comments below. You can write something like, the most difficult part for me is because, or when I go to the doctor in English, I find it hard to because.
For example, the most difficult part for me is describing my symptoms because I don't know the medical words in English. Or, when I go to the doctor in English, I find it hard to understand the doctor's instructions because they speak quickly.
We truly want to know. Your comments help us understand what you need most and help us make better lessons for you. And writing your answer in English is wonderful practice. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Please share with us. We read every single comment and we appreciate every one of them. And if you practice the phrases from today's lesson before your next doctor's visit, we'd love to hear how it went too.
And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. What an important and genuinely useful conversation we had today.
I feel like I could walk into a doctor's office right now and handle the whole appointment in English.
That's a great feeling. That's exactly the goal. If today's lesson helped you feel more prepared and more confident about talking to a doctor in English, please give this video a big thumbs up right now. It helps so many more learners find our channel.
And if you haven't subscribed to English for Real Life yet, please click the subscribe button right now. And don't forget to tap the little bell icon next to it. When you click that bell, you'll get a notification every time we post a new lesson. That way, you'll never miss an episode, and you won't forget to join us.
You are all wonderful, hardworking students.
Taking the time to prepare for real-life English situations like this shows real dedication. Keep practicing every single day.
Remember, the best English is the English you can use when it really matters. Health is one of those times when it truly matters. So learn these words, practice these phrases, and be ready. We are proud of all of you.
Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Take care of yourselves in every sense of the word. Have a wonderful day, a peaceful evening, and a restful night wherever you are in the world.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay healthy, drink plenty of fluids, and keep practicing your English. Bye.
We'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.